To Rapid F1 News, your place for F1 news, views and reviews. So if you want to keep kept up to date with everything going on in the F1 world, don't forget to subscribe and click that bell for notifications, and like the videos, of course, if you like them too. So today I'm talking about Mercedes, and Toto Wolff has estimated that the team have lost 8 to 10 months of development during the 2022 campaign because of problems they had with the car. They think they lost up to 10 months of development time with its current Formula One challenger because of early season porpoising problems. Now, we all saw the trouble that Mercedes had this year with their car, a car that they developed for this year, and it had a lot of problems with it that they had to try and resolve, and they are getting there with some of the results that they've had recently, and I think they're aiming for at least a win, at least one win after the remaining 2 games of this particular season. But hopefully they can do it as well, because I think that they have been working really hard. German manufacturers endured a tricky season with the W13, which suffered a lot of early on from excessive bouncing. It took several months for them to sort it out, including implement car tweaks that have helped Lewis Hamilton and George Russell make progress over the second half of the campaign. Mercedes boss Toto Wolff reckons that the squad is still playing catch up now, which will not make it easy to be back in the hunt for victories from the start of 2023. So obviously, this does knock on to next year, and maybe they're not going to be hitting the ground running at the beginning of the season. They're going to have to be playing a bit more catch up. We believe that we understand where the gap comes from, he said, when asked if he felt that Red Bull's early advantage with the F1's new 2022 rules will put it in a good stead for years to come. They will carry over some of their sweetness in the car, and we've maybe lost 8 to 10 months in terms of development because we couldn't figure out what was wrong. So there's definitely a challenge. But we're playing the long game, all of us. Both drivers are playing the long game. The team, the judge around the team for performance is not based on a single year or a weekend. It's how we have been able to win championships over the long term. So, I think Mercedes are in there for the long game. I think they know that this season is maybe a bit of a write-off for them. Next season may not be any much better. It might be better, but I don't know. I can't see them winning the championship next season. I think it's going to be a tough year for them again because of the development delays. But I think they're going to be there or thereabouts. I think they're going to be improving, and maybe in a couple of years they may come back to full force again. Who knows? Mercedes has emerged as Red Bull's main threat in recent races, as Ferrari has endured 2 difficult weekends in the United States and in Mexico. Chief strategist James Vowles, this is for Ferrari, said Ferrari won't be that far back away from us as they were in Mexico. They will be closer in Brazil and Abu Dhabi, and it will be a very close fight between our 2 teams. In terms of relative to Red Bull, they still hold the edge relative to us. I don't think it is quite 3/10 they quite qualified us by in Mexico, but it will be a few tenths across the next few races. We're getting closer and closer compared to where we were at the beginning of the last season, where at times we were struggling to get out of Q1 or into Q3, to where we are now, which is where, within a whisker of fighting for our first win, we have moved forward. In Brazil, it's a track that both of our drivers have particularly gone well, and it was a sprint race where we can pick up more points. And when you have the car within a few tenths of competition, you can make things happen. And I think that's right. I think the car is improving. I think if things go well for Mercedes, I reckon George Russell or Lewis Hamilton will get a win in the last 2 races if things go well for them. But I think even if they don't get that win, then I don't think they're going to be too hard on themselves, because they know how hard they've worked to get back at least into contention for the last couple of races. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Do you think that Mercedes can carve out a win out of the last 2 races, or do you think that this season is a bit of a write-off and that they're going to still be playing catch-up next season? Let me know what your thoughts are down below.